I might die tonight, but if I do, I'm a...
Love thyself.
Knowing there's a problem at hand to begin with.
Oh, right on. Back again.
13, Schmidt. Lucky 13.
Fuck yeah. Getting into them now.
And we're
Getting deep.
fucking smashing it because we've got another fucking superstar guest with us.
Fuck yeah. Big dog.
Lewi
What's going
Woods. How are you, Cobb?
Yeah, boys. Yeah, nah, thanks for having us.
No
Come
worries.
to have a bit of a yarn to yous.
Fuck yeah.
I'm kind of new to the podcast, so
Is this your first podcast?
nearly second.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who'd you do your other one with? Or you...
it was a moto group, post moto, I think they were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
they were
nice.
moto related, so
Yeah.
racing.
On that topic, yeah, obviously, if you don't know Lewi Woods, he's a kingpin fucking motocrosser. And these days, what would you call it? A little bit of a free ride fucking mad dog?
Yeah, I suppose free riding's the
That's your
word
main-
that pops up. Yeah, I've been a racer my whole career.
Yep.
Everyone
I was
probably
going to
knows
say,
me as that.
most
Racing.
people that do know your name would know you from the track or from racing days.
Yeah.
It was pretty strong.
Yeah, grew up racing dirt bikes. From a small age. Ended up meeting you guys on the way there somewhere along the way. But it's
definitely. We were just talking about that before. It's been about 17 years.
I've known you guys for a
That's
while.
gnarly.
Yeah.
We're getting old, man. It's crazy how quick that shit. Yeah, like wow. But so I'm not. Where do you got anything to start off with?
Yeah, well,
Schmo?
basically, I guess rather than the riding side straight away, that's what most people know. Yeah, for the people that don't know, obviously your name's Lewi Woods, and what do you do, man? How old are you? And what do you do?
I'm 30.
Yep.
Yeah, so getting on, as we spoke about. But, grew up racing dirt bikes. That was my main goal, I suppose, We all, grew up, went to school and everything. But around 16, you're kind of looking at careers, and what you want to do for a job. And I was lucky enough to be in that position to go race dirt bikes as a job. So that was my main goal till kind of about 5 years ago,
Yep.
And
what that leaned off because of your own choices or because it was just that's how it happened with the sport in Australia? Like what was it?
Oh, a few reasons, but pretty much I'd been doing it a long time.
Yep.
It's a tough gig in Australia going racing.
Definitely.
Any motorsport is in Australia. We're a small little country. You know, people don't realise how small it is. So going racing and doing a sport that's not a mainstream sport is hard.
Yes.
So it's it was basically coming. I was getting 25. Getting on, and you got to kind of start paying the bills.
Yep.
And racing wasn't cutting it. So
Yep. Fair enough.
That's basically it.
basically life.
yeah.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah, and things that come with it. Wasn't enjoying it in the end. You
Yeah,
know, because I was having more fun doing different types of riding, and then it just happened that way. Wasn't paying the bills, wasn't having fun. Then you just stop doing it, don't you?
Obviously,
for sure.
Did you have like actual rides, or were you privateering or bits and pieces through it all?
That's a good question. If I was a pro rider, I would have been making probably a little bit. You make your average wage here in Australia. There's like 10 guys doing it.
Yep.
30 guys each class. So you can make some money doing it and pay the bills. But I was always just out of that top 10.
Yep.
I was never on the podium.
Yep.
I was a top 10 guy the whole time. So to be a factory rider, you got to be on the box. So
Yep.
I didn't get a ride. I got one in the end.
Yep.
It's a good story. I got one factory ride. I won races.
Yep.
Got on the podium championship.
Yep.
And then that's just when, like you spoke about before, the industry kind of going down.
Yes.
That was when I started winning.
So how long ago was that?
That was 2015.
Yep.
So I got third in the Supercross Championship.
Yep.
I was the only one to beat Jimmy D that year.
Yep.
So they bring the importers over to make the sport bigger, and there wasn't many guys kind of doing well. And then I ended up doing well next year. No ride, no nothing.
Nothing.
So that's kind of when I decided it's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time to go
No
do
matter
something.
how hard
Yeah.
you're pushing and how much goodness you're putting out there,
Yeah.
like results and whatnot, you weren't getting the end of the year result you wanted, and that was for the next year coming up, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's pretty cutthroat. It still is
Yep.
these days.
For
these
sure.
guys.
Always has been. Yeah. It's a pretty.
Even in
pretty-
America,
yeah.
it's just that sport. It's not as big as
Yep.
some of the other sports. So
Yep.
it's hard to kind of go into the next year. Some of these guys don't know if they got a job till kind of November,
Wow.
December. It's
Yep.
it's pretty bad. So
Yeah. Right.
For sure. That'd be a hard way to live.
it is.
For
It's
sure,
stressful,
man.
especially
Stressful as
when
fuck.
when you're a kid and you're at home, it's all good, yeah. You just don't have to. There's not many overheads in that, but later on in life, for sure.
Yep. Definitely. No,
That's
you
why.
you definitely did it for a long time, and
I think I did a good
And
job.
went
yeah.
hard
the
too,
fucking,
yeah.
went hard and pushed that like the
As
ball.
a privateer as well.
Yep.
That's a big thing as well, because
Definitely, man.
doing it as a privateer is a bigger job
Yep.
than
sure.
doing it as any type of team.
100%.
You know?
And as you were saying before, like you've done it since you basically can remember.
Yep.
But racing and all that stuff like was in the start of high school and whatnot, and you missed out on a lot of shit too. Yeah, like through all that, let's say like going out partying. Not that was a big thing, but on the weekends everyone's doing it and talking about it, and you're at home not able to do it because you've got something you're pushing for,
Commitments,
and
I
it's just it's that would be a big part and a hard thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was a bad thing at all.
No.
I'm not saying I should have quit earlier, you know, like some of these guys have. You're exactly right. I was busy doing, like, learning life skills, all that, whereas, kids that weren't doing that can get carried away doing other things. So,
For sure.
no, you're racing every weekend, so good luck trying to find some spare time,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you would really, if you did go, oh, fuck it, this weekend I'm going out and partying, or because you had an off time or whatever, you'd get back on the bike and notice it?
Yeah, I suppose you would, but we just wouldn't. Look, we're just when you're growing up in a sport, you're growing up in such a good way. So drinking when you're a young kid is just not good. Even though, as we know now, you learn a couple of beers isn't too bad.
It's not too bad, yeah.
But as a kid, you're growing up drinking, no. Sport, yes. Drinking, no. And that's just the way it was. So it wasn't even a really thing. And then as life goes on, we start partying and stuff, and that's where you got to kind of be a little bit smarter with
For sure.
things. So.
For sure, 100%.
Going back, so it's always been you and your old man, pretty much, yeah. So your old man does most of the work on your bikes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So going through racing, it was a full family with my mum.
Yep.
She's 3 years ago, recently passed away.
Yep.
Sorry
Still
to hear, man.
kind of racing, but 3 years. So she was coming racing, through the racing days and all that. But now it's definitely just Dad, but he's still just working on my bikes. Yep. He's just a home mechanic.
Yep.
So he just works up at in back Smash there as a home mechanic, and he still just works on my bikes, and that's where I do all my free riding and stuff. So I'm just basically with him every day, and he's been going through, like, he's been my mechanic the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So whereas other guys, old mans, didn't really know how to change a piston and do any of that, so they have to kind of hire someone.
Yeah.
You know?
So that would have been a little bit of an advantage, being that little bit of a team there, you know.
100%.
Yeah, grouse.
Because I guess it's a hard thing to fund, isn't it? Like it's an expensive thing to do for sure.
Definitely an expensive habit.
Well, yeah, and I know that personally.
It's not really a habit, is it?
Not really. It's a good one if it is.
It's a hobby, not a habit.
Knowing growing up when I was a kid, like that was one thing my dad always said to me, like racing, we can do a bit of it, but it's not going to be a full-time thing because it's fucking expensive.
That's it. It is, and I'm lucky enough to be brought up, with a wealthy enough family to take me away racing.
For sure, for sure.
That's the end of the day. I'm lucky enough for that, because it is expensive even just to get started.
Yep.
Buying a footy and a pair of footy boots is a bit cheaper than dirt
sure.
bike. Not only that, the dirt bike's a cheap part. Yeah, so you got to take them riding. You got to go to the tracks. You know,
You got to have a car to get you there with the
That's
bike. You've got to
exactly
be able to
right.
fuel up that car and the bike. Like there's so much that goes into it.
Then
Then
you
there's
need the time.
entry fees. There's fees to everything you want to do and got to do.
this goes on.
It
Like you
sure
said, too,
does.
time as well. Like your whole family that weekend, they're all going up for that race. It's a whole
Nothing else
family.
going
Yeah,
on.
it's like this is what we're committed to, and
Yep. Usually a
is.
Friday arvo, so we get picked up from school Friday arvo, straight from school. You drive you 3 hours,
true.
2-day open, then you're home Sunday night,
Yep.
and you're up to school Monday morning. But then, so it's just then you're working flat out during the week to pay for that.
Yeah.
As a parent.
Yep,
So
fully, man.
And
every weekend.
you're the only kid? I obviously know the answer to that, but
I'm the
got
youngest.
brother
I'm
and, brother
youngest
and
of three.
sisters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So oldest sis, and then another older brother. But my sister's the oldest, and
So it wasn't just you that your parents had to focus on. There was 2 other kids that they had to fund as well.
that's it. Yeah. So there's 3 of us. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was growing up, we were decked out.
Yeah.
Like we started off with we were having like we had one DS80 and then just one helmet.
Yep.
And one jersey.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember we all had like a pair of pants, but there was one jersey and we used to share it. So we come from
Crazy.
that, and then
It's real shit.
and then when we wanted to start racing, man, we got decked. I think Dad got a kind of good job, you know.
Yeah.
He was willing to spend it on the kids.
He was able
and
to.
Mate, like we were decked. It was pretty cool. I was, no sponsors, nothing. You know?
Yep.
Full price, everything. 3 kids.
Yep.
All bikes. Yep.
Hustling.
Yeah. And
Making it happen.
Yeah. So did that for years, and then sponsors come, and
On you, Craigo.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Then those 2 dropped off, and then it was just me.
I was just about to ask, that was my next question. So, did your bro and your sister ride as well?
They started riding, and grew up as a family sport.
Yep.
Awesome, traveling all over Australia, and then just dropped off. Brother
So she
dropped
used
off.
to race too?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So it was
Broke a couple of
definitely
femurs.
a full family of bike enthusiasts,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
for
still
sure.
are. It's just we're all into it, but it's just kind of
Life can get in the way.
just different alleys, I suppose.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, obviously, bikes are a massive part of your life and aren't going to stop being a big part of your life. So, you speak of all the racing side of things and whatnot. What's actually happening now? Firstly, what's keeping you enthusiastic about it all? Because I know myself personally, I've done it in different ways, riding and travelled and all that, and you can get fucking burnt out with it, and you don't want to see a fucking bike or hear one sometimes.
For sure. As a 30-year-old, I think I'm still into it compared to a lot of other guys. Like you said, if you go pretty hard and go down different alleys with your racing and stuff like that, you can get burnt out, you know, and it sucks. Like,
Fuck yeah.
I'll see it now with some of these kids, you know, and it's not a good thing. So you got to make sure you're still having fun. That's the main thing with the riding bikes. Don't let anything get in the way of you still having a good time on your bike. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So anytime you're at the track and you feel not having fun anymore, I don't want to do that last lap, don't do it.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter who's telling you or what you think. That's a big part. So
Yeah, right. That's some fucking good. That's
Yeah.
good advice, man. Like because
Definitely.
it's those little things that even you in yourself, you'll be like, oh, I've got to do this other lap. Well,
Yep.
like, no, you're fucked. Just pull out and have a rest.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and that's when you end up hurting yourself and doing stupid things, and then you really push yourself away from it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So me being 30 and I'm still enjoying it. I've always had fun on my bike, yeah. So I've
Yep.
always,
And it shows on the bike. I'll say that
Yeah.
now. You can tell that you're always having fun because you're riding so fluent, it's smooth, it's all the above that everyone's looking for, and it's all the time. So you can tell
yeah.
the ride improves.
Yeah, I get told that a lot, and it's 'cause it's true. It's as simple as that.
That's it.
I'm not having as much fun as on my bike now as I have my whole career. You know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely loving
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So racing, winning, mains, everything, nothing is have as fun as what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
more of that free ride
Yeah,
scene.
that's
So
it.
you just like hitting big fucking jumps, huh?
Big
That's-
jumps, yeah. It's all bike skill related.
Yep.
So there's all jumps involved, but it's all stuff that I've got from racing days. So
Yep.
it's all bike skill related. So generally it's jumping, yeah, because there's the whips and that, and,
Yep.
and that's generally the alley we go because that's the competitions and that's the money and that's that's kind of the alley that these free riders go.
Yep.
There's not many of them. It's this kind of new movement, I suppose you'd call it.
Definitely.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
But so that free ride movement, I'm definitely more into that. So I'm not racing, you know. Like if I do it, well, we'll do a race, but it's definitely just a one-off. It's not,
When the right one comes up, obviously.
yeah,
and-
if it's fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
So it's simple as that, and so I'm just the free ride, and it's just that you just go and ride on your
Yeah,
own.
with a couple of the boys,
Yeah.
and you just
You
sort
need
of,
to be lucky enough to have a property,
Yep.
which
Yes.
is
So yeah, that's was my next thing. So obviously, being like you said, it's a new push, it's a new thing. The free ride, especially here in Oz, it's a
Yeah.
big like new thing.
not
So-
new as, yeah.
Yeah.
No one's doing it. It's definitely bigger in America. Everything is, but there's
Yep.
a handful of guys over there, like an actual handful.
yeah,
Probably 5 or so, that are doing this free ride movement. It's cool because it's cool to watch.
Definitely.
You know, like as a rider, people want to watch these guys because you
Yep.
can see the skill that's involved in doing it. But it's just hard for them because there's no real platform for them to kind of
show it.
show it and
Yep.
just work off it and kind of, build something out of it because, it costs to, if you want to plan something, do a big project,
Yep.
there's costs to it. And
Yeah,
It's
And
as
everything
simple as
is at a level now that's like
Yep.
you can't really half-ass it. It's like
Yeah,
if you want a quarter pipe for a motorbike, you need to
that.
build
You
a
don't-
fucking quarter pipe.
It's
And
big money and it's like big stuff. Exactly right.
Machinery, it
Yep.
all
Machinery.
goes with
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's not an easy task. So in saying all
Travelling.
of that,
yeah.
yeah, true. So I guess it is very similar in all those things as racing, the traveling and machinery
Yep.
and all that stuff. But it's new, and that's what we're talking about, I guess. In saying everything that we just spoke about at the freeride scene, what is out there at the moment, if anything, being so new?
Well, it's all since the internet, yeah, this freeride thing, because we can be seen doing what we do.
Yep.
You know, just straight on our phone right now, we can see. Whereas instead of waiting for the race on the weekend to see, you know, your favourite racer,
Yep.
you can just bang it out now, and if your consistency's there, then that's what everyone wants to see.
Yep.
So
So it's very,
Internet.
very video part orientated.
yeah, well, that's definitely. Like we need to show.
That's all it is, really. Then.
Yeah, it's all video part related, and then like I said, there's a several little bit of competition. We don't really have an actual competition. That's where it's starting to. There's a couple of little things now going on where
There'll be enough riders to have a competition, I guess.
and it's right now where this freeride movement is getting a bit bigger, and generally in America, but it's happening in Australia. I'm going to go hard at it because I really enjoy at it. So what comes with it is doing those events to get the sponsors and to get people looking, which is the best whip, the all the bike skill related stuff at like your action sports events like X Games, but not really involved in doing tricks.
And
You
yes, definitely.
So
definitely.
it just cuts out freestyle, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
You think about it.
And kind of man-made ramps as such. You can still use them as features, I guess, in freeride, but it's more so just dirt hits and natural shit, right?
Dirt hits, natural,
Is
and
it
just
things like manual pads and that? Is that part of
any of that can kind of
because it's still like
Features,
it's technical
basically.
bike skills. It's not like
skate park kind of style.
Bigger
quarter
features,
pipe,
though.
Bigger,
Like big features.
step up, step down. So it's basically like bringing in that skate and kind of BMX into the moto kind of thing. So
and I guess that goes back to being the footage too, you know, like getting the content. It's like, it goes back to being a little bit more old school skate style, a little bit, you know, pulling the hole where real moto came from.
Yeah.
And just being like a couple of dudes out in their paddock with some big jumps and a dude with a camera filming it to show everyone.
That's
like,
it. That's all it is. And that's what's sick about it. And so for anyone, there's not much out there, but there's generally these kind of, they've generally come from a racing background.
Yep.
You know, a lot of these free riders.
Yep.
And then there's some kind of freestyle guys that have gone into it as well, but there's not too many.
Yep.
You know, there's not a huge number. So,
Definitely.
You're building a little bit like, so with all this is your main aim for you got a little bit of a compound at your joint?
Yep. So I'm still, like I don't race anymore, but I do a coaching. So I coach a lot.
Yep.
That's what I do during the week. Yeah. I coach, I've kind of gone, I used to coach racing. Yeah.
Yep.
But now I've kind of gone more coaching just general bike skill.
Yep.
Yeah, you can take it wherever you want.
Yep.
So,
So pretty much you've never ridden a bike. I've just bought a bike this weekend, call you up. I want to know how to fucking hit second gear because I don't even know how to let the clutch out at the moment.
That's it.
Sick.
Exactly. But then all the way up to, I want to jump that 75-foot ramp.
Yep.
Teach me the skills to do that safely.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. So
That's
there's
sick,
a
man.
lot to it. So it's instead of going to pound laps and trying to be the fastest, I'll teach you everything. You can do anything this way.
Yep.
Whether it's enduro, racing,
Fully.
supercross, freestyle, it works.
Yep.
Go. It's just a good, safe way of riding, and it's all that's what I do down there at the compound. So that's gets us back to that. So coaching's what I do.
Yep.
And I enjoy it.
So obviously that's Woods coaching.
Woods coaching. Yep.
Yep.
Check
Look
it
it
out.
up if you
We
need
need some skills.
need to learn how to ride a bike or click gears and whatever Borg said.
Yeah.
Fucking hit Lewi up. Even if you want to jump that big ass jump, I can still hit him up.
Yeah. So that's what we do that at the compound.
Yep.
So yeah, but that's in my spare time.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my main time at the moment, I've been really moving a lot of dirt and trimming up this place to kind of start getting a lot more content out of there because it's a good freeride property. 50
Definitely.
acres of start of the Pentland Hills, so you got huge elevation.
Yep. Yep.
So you can basically see it's flat Melbourne, the whole flat plane, and then it goes bang, it hits the Pentland Hills, and we're the first hill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's one of the best places visually to be able to do any type of freeride filming. So I've done a few edits here and there, but I haven't had it anywhere to the spec that I'm going to have it
You want it
by
to,
the
I
end of the
guess.
year.
Yeah.
Sick.
So
And when you do out there see something drop with Lewi's fucking name and from his joint, check it out, because I'm telling you, it's a one-of-a-kind place. As you were saying, hasn't really been filmed, and there's not many places that I think in Australia that I've seen that look like it. It's a fucking unique looking place, and once you get what you want done down there, and the riding happens, it's going to be pretty fucking epic, I think.
yeah, no, it is going to be sick. It's pretty much a skate park for dirt bike. It's pretty much what I built. So
Is that the sort of aim you have? Like, is that how you see it?
Pretty
You're just
much.
like, you're just going out there and you're going to build the biggest skate park out of dirt.
pretty much,
Yep,
yeah, the most
sick.
tech, the most coolest, the way that I can ride it the best.
Yep.
So it comes down to you get into this, suppose, free ride generally through best whip.
Yep.
It's the biggest competition. It's one of the biggest competitions at X Games
Yep.
in the moto side of things. So I got into that. I love doing whips, always have. So I got invited to X Games
Yep.
2018.
Yep.
Yep.
Which was sick as fuck.
Which was
Just-
crazy. Come to
yeah.
Sydney, so then I went
Yeah.
to it because it was just up the Hume, instead of going all the way to Minneapolis and all that. Like, at the end of the day, if you got skills, you can go to one of these events if you get an invite, but you still got to go there. Like,
Yeah.
they don't just throw money at you and go.
Yeah, you've got to get there.
Yeah,
It's
you still
back
gotta-
to that
We're
whole...
we're still stuck in Australia. It's not like it is just a road trip up the road.
That's it. Yeah.
It is.
So
It's
it came here, so I kind of wanted to really go to that because of the opportunity,
for sure.
So,
Yep.
And did you, just off topic a little bit, did you push hard to get that, or did someone come to you and say, yo, do you want to ride this?
yeah, no, I still needed to get an in there, So Sam Moore at Fist,
Yep.
he's just one of my long-time sponsors.
Yep.
He had an in there, and that's it. You just get an in, and they wanted to see a few photos. And at the time, I was getting ready for quarter pipe, and they were looking for quarter pipe riders.
Yep.
Yep.
There's not many guys doing that.
Yep.
As you said earlier, it's a big ramp and everything, and it's a lot of
Pretty
skill
full on.
involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So when I got the invite to that, I just went hard.
Yep.
Best whip, quarter pipe, go to Sydney.
Yep.
See how we go. It's just cool. And we did that, and unfortunately, the weather was really bad on the night, and the quarter pipe got cancelled. I didn't get to show
Yep.
how I'd been doing.
Yep.
So that was a shame. And then come around next year, and I wasn't really in a position to go to Minneapolis, and a
Fair.
few things kind of fell around that time.
Yep.
And then now we're here, and we got Kronos.
Yeah.
Spewing that you didn't get to put in at X Games on quarter pipe, Because
Yeah, that would have been
you were
Exactly,
fucking when you were practicing, you felt good.
Yeah, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was ready to go that week.
You,
Like,
you had
quarter
some
pipe's
numbers
like
and
a thing that you just got to go hard at for like 2 weeks, and then
Yep.
do a comp, and then probably just don't even jump it ever.
yeah.
Until
After
another
that.
comp comes. Yeah,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's really not one of those jumps that you can kind of just go in every day and just
And have a play on.
have a play. You can when you're feeling it, but
Yep.
Yep.
so basically,
And that's due to because it is so fucking big and gnarly.
Yeah.
And
just completely different. You're
Yeah.
going up a jump and you're
Coming back
going
the other
there.
way.
So I spent my whole life, as every dirt biker has, looking this way over the top of the ramps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's more just you just got to get yourself in that going. Yeah, it's just
comfortable in that uncomfortable field.
yeah, it's almost a different sport
Yeah.
for the day.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
or for the time. So
And especially being so fresh and new, it
Yeah.
is. It's all. Yeah.
Yeah, like user almost the guinea pigs for this.
yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
we're all learning as well, and the same with the ramps and everything. But there is a spec ramp, quarter pipe, 18 foot. It is.
Yep.
And we do go 35, 38 above it, so
Yep.
it's
Yep.
15 foot up.
Fuck.
So it is a big spectacle.
Yeah.
That's why it's cool to see in X Games.
Definitely. And obviously, something goes wrong with those heights and speeds and whatnot. It doesn't fucking tickle.
No, that's it. It is. And there hasn't been many big crashes on it, but you're right. It's
You don't want them.
no, and that's another thing. It's on the day. It's really it just comes down to how the landing's built, how safe it is,
Yep.
and that can get a bit scary, especially
Yeah.
competitions
Yep.
when there's a small landing and it's sharp and you've got to compete,
Yep.
and you all just don't want to ride it really,
Yeah.
but you know, so
You sort of have to.
yeah. So I haven't really been in that position, but basically at Sydney I was ready to go. So I'd just done a week like prior to that.
Yep.
So I'd built the ramp. I'd done like 3 nights on it with my buddy Tang. He's
Yep.
another one that was just kind of chipping along with me on it, helping me build it,
Yep.
keen to learn it.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, Tango.
On your
Yeah,
team.
Tangy. He's another free rider down here that
Fuck
you
yeah.
know, doesn't get enough credit for what we're doing. We're going hard down here. You know?
100%.
Definitely
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah, definitely.
Well, man,
And we'll get Tang on the podcast sometime pretty soon. So yeah, keep your ears out for Chris Camaraderie. He's coming.
Fuck yeah. But just in saying what you said there, like he doesn't get enough credit. No one does in Australia.
True.
That's pushing. That's doing good, and the people that know are going, man, you're fucking killing it. They're not getting the exposure they should be.
Yeah, well, I suppose you only get the exposure
Yourself
you
even.
you give yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
These
So-
days, you're exactly fucking right.
Yeah, so
You're your own promoter today. And if
Exactly.
you're not promoting yourself, no one else gives a fuck.
doesn't matter what you're doing either.
no.
If no one knows, no one cares because they don't know.
They don't know.
So you need to kind of
100%.
show the people this stuff. So this free ride movement, at the end of the day, we just want to have fun on our bikes. That's all I want to do.
Yep,
But
sure.
we are kind of involved in this content creating thing with these new cameras and kind of creating content
Yep.
of this riding. So whether it's kind of quick little edits, you know, for people to watch on their phones, or whether it's kind of you know a full series that people can sit down and watch and kind of just get involved in everything free riding. It's definitely a platform growing, you know. So
100%, man. And me being into bikes and whatnot, always keeping an eye on what's happening in there, and that freeride is definitely becoming something.
yeah,
And it's fucking really good to see, and especially more so for people like yourself. You know, you're a fucking epic rider. You're all the above. But there wasn't really, you're not, like you said before, not into the freestyle thing and doing the tricks and letting go of the bike and whatnot.
It's almost like there was nowhere apart from a race to prove your skills.
race or freestyle.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
two options.
exactly.
For yourself, someone that has got all the fucking bike skill in the world,
Yep.
but can't express that because either it doesn't cater.
Yeah,
And now there's something here. Like, I think there's a lot of people else that's out there in Australia and in the world that fall into that category. And with that, something's gonna fucking happen. It's just a matter of time.
Well, it's a matter of time. It really is. So there's little kind of things popping up here and there, but like especially, I hate to bring up the coronavirus, but especially with this coronavirus this year, there's like events that are happening that are crazy because they're online. You know,
Yes.
there's some online events happening.
Yeah, man. Fight club stuff and all craziness. Like,
Going back to a little bit more like invite only sort of like, so they're not public events. It's like, righto, let's
Yep.
just get some
Live
skilled
streamed.
people here. Yep. Cameras,
Yep.
record it, make a video of it, give it to the people.
Yeah.
Which is, and I think too, going back to the whole freeride thing, like it's like everything. Everything has to do a full 360. That's the roots. Like
Yeah,
free riding
definitely.
is where, apart from racing around a track, that's always been the core of it. But like, your crusty demons, all that sort of shit. It started from dudes out in the paddock,
Yep.
hucking jumps.
but
It is the roots.
when
Yeah.
bikes came about, it wasn't like, oh yeah, manufacturers made a bike. There's a racetrack. Go ride it.
Fully.
It's like people had to ride,
Yeah.
whether it was in a
One
paddock or out there.
bloke made
Down
a
the
little
paddock,
track.
over
and
a hill.
Yeah,
which was
over
a
the
jump.
hill, which
Yep.
then ended up being a jump
Yeah,
because
you're
Trevor
right.
hit it faster and he launched off the top and went, holy fuck, hang on, that worked.
That's free ride. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
man.
it is.
Yeah, and I guess it's it has just, because, freestyle hit that huge wall
Definitely.
a couple of years ago that just went, look, it's fucking dead. And unless you are an absolute fucking nutbag, you there's not much. There's just
Putting
nothing
yourself
for it.
really, really on the
know,
line. If you
yeah.
weren't doing that,
So
Yeah.
it has hit that point where, it comes back to being just a couple of mates out the back riding for fun. And, it's that pushing each other and being like, fuck, you won't jump that jump.
Yeah.
Fuck off, I won't. Let's jump it. Bang. The next minute, you're both jumping it, having a ball. Like, that's the roots of it. And it's it's good that it is going back to that. It's just crazy how much it's progressed. Like, everything is just fucking huge now.
That's it.
And
yeah.
it's like,
Lot
but
bigger.
it also makes sense when you see someone with the skills riding that big stuff because it looks proportionized
it
now.
looks
Like,
right and it couldn't happen
all
on
it
anything
is
else.
is like, so with you say the freestyle, it hit that wall there because everyone's progressing, bang, and then there was a foam pit a little bit,
Yep.
and then it just kind of hit a wall because people getting hurt and there's some deaths and this and that. It's bad, yeah, because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And then the airbags come along, yeah,
Yep.
and then that just launched them up again.
Yep.
Safe, it made them all safer.
Fully.
Now they're doing 3 backflips, yeah.
Yeah.
So then with us, it's kind of, so the freestyle's gone big, and I'd love to talk about the future of freestyle right now. Like that's something I'm interested in. I've always been a fan of it.
Yep.
But that's another thing that's that's growing, and it's kind of
It's definitely going in a different way. They've taken the danger out of it because it was like at the start it was like cool danger. Like, you could break an arm or you can get a flesh wound, and then it was like, dude, really people are fucking dying.
Yeah,
we need to at least make it like safer. So I think that's
safer
where
to practice the tricks.
Pretty much. So I think that's where it's even with Pastrana doing all that sort of
100%.
It's everything's a bit bigger, so
evolution
it can be safer.
of ramps, not riding now.
And
that's where it's kind of gone. The jumps that these dudes are throwing themselves off have realised that, as silly as it might sound, bigger is better and safer. That's the way it is, and like to make the jumps bigger, not just pulling the gaps back with the same size up ramps, whatever it is, jacking them up to the right. You've always spoken since I've kind of been back here, degree and angle. Like when I was riding freestyle motocross, every single day it mattered on the gap, 75 to 78 foot. If that's the going gap, like for your shows, comps, all that shit, unless there was dirt hits involved. But
no one was talking degrees.
It's so much different.
So it's more into it. It's getting bigger, and like I said, like freestyle's gotten a bit. Like it's taken that step with the free ride, and tell you what it is, right? It's the bikes have caught up to us, like the technology in these 4 strokes. Is what it is.
Yeah.
So
what's in your fucking right hand, huh?
Yeah. So look,
power.
We can get talking right into it, but when you're in the air there, to control the bike is to do with your motor and the back wheel. Even though it looks like we're just flicking it and it's just floating, you're actually controlling it with your back wheel up there. So brings it back to the power, It brings it back to the torque. And it brings back to remember we used to ride 2 strokes. All freestylers ride 2 strokes.
Oh man, I still ride one.
Like a lot of freestylers still ride the 2 strokes, but then now it's all 4 strokes, and they're a lot torquier curve. So it's opened us up to bigger whips. Firstly, and then kind of the quarter pipe is basically the only you need 4 stroke. Basically, simple as that.
That hasn't even crossed my mind. I know motherfuckers doing that on a 2 stroke.
Yeah, you look, it's possible. Yeah,
it's fucking scary, but
like McNeil's doing it on a 2 stroke.
True.
You can do and Jazza throws massive whips on that 2 stroke, right? So
he's in his own league when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, Jazza, he's little and he throws a little bike really big. So that's he's his own little thing there.
Definitely.
But he's nuts. But like
Jazza, shout out, mate.
Jazza. But you really need that kind of torque really off that ramp, and that's when you look at everyone's doing quarter pipe, they're generally in that thing. So that's what I think. Yeah, even for me, 450. 4-stroke 450 with stiff suspension, you can do anything on that thing.
Yeah,
like it's just a really they've just developed them so well. You can jump them really big, you can land real hard. I
was going to say a little bit like comfortable too now.
Comfortable now. Yeah, exactly right. So it's all torque related, controlling the air.
That's pretty how that's pretty full on for like someone that's sort of gone through the the last 15 to 20 years of bikes. Is it like, are they just that good these days,
Yeah, well, I suppose you got to set them up.
Yeah.
You go get a stock bike from a shop, you can't do what I just said. But what I'm saying is you can't do it on 2-stroke.
Yeah.
It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, I tried in February, went to New Zealand.
I was just saying, why do you say this, Lou?
There was that event where I could get a 2-stroke, and they just don't work like these 4 strokes,
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
A little bit of it. We'll go. Just touching on that. That was Farm Jam this year.
Yeah, so
earlier this year.
Yeah, late Jan, early Feb. It just falls over there. It's an event in New Zealand, free ride event.
Yep.
So it's only every 2 years.
Yep.
So one of the only free ride events throughout the world that's gaining traction. And all that. But it's only every 2 years. So we hang out for that one. But went over there in Feb. It's a free ride event, and it's competition as well.
Yep.
So it's all so it's a best whip. It's kind of overall free rider.
Yep.
There's best style.
Yep.
And then there's also not just moto. There's BMX and mountain bike.
Is that all in like a jam format? Yeah. Like you all just ride all weekend. Everyone sort of watches and goes, "Damn, this cunt killed it all weekend."
Kind of, yeah. Like different things. For sure. Like it's exactly what it is. A jam, and then everyone votes rider judged.
Yep, sick.
So it's one of the only events that I think really works
Yep.
in the freeride scene, instead of putting what you do in the hands of someone else to, like,
Yep.
when you talk competition,
Yep.
to decide whether it was good, it's not on. But if you ask everyone that was just watching you ride on the day that ride also,
Yep.
Yes.
that understand what that was,
That we're also jumping the jumps you were jumping.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and
definitely.
you're not voting for yourself, then that's it. And it all, every year it works.
Yep.
Like, they call out the name and just like,
That's right.
he
It
did
fits.
that, he did that,
Yep.
and it all just goes along, and everyone has a ball there. That's a sick event. But
Yeah,
went there in Jan and had
Definitely
a
one that
bubble.
I've been fucking keen to sort of go over and check out.
Yep, you
It's
got
been
that.
on my card, so definitely maybe the next one we'll try and get over there. Schmitto, what do you reckon?
Yeah, just to
New
see
Zealand
just
trip.
to see the grounds. I want
Yeah.
to see the grounds it's on, and you know the hills, the landscape, all that shit. Because I've seen it obviously in photos, magazines, all that stuff
Yeah.
for years, and
yeah.
it does. It looks fucking epic. It looks perfect, and like you were just saying with the judging system, that's probably why it's been so successful and is still on the up and up with the rise of people wanting to go, new people wanting to ride it, all the rest of it, because they
Yep.
do hear from the rider's mouth, like you just
That's it.
said, that it's
For the riders.
fucking perfect.
Yeah.
The judging's perfect, the riding's perfect, the jumps are good, they're always fucking great and prepped every year all around. Like, how can you go wrong with something like that?
That's it. Yeah. Nah, South Island, New Zealand, it's the best free ride in the world, I think.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice green rolling hills, no rabbit holes.
Yep.
Living.
Couldn't really ask for much more than that.
It's like
eh?
we have green rolling hills here, but you have these things to just watch out for on the ground when you're going fourth gear wide, you know. But there,
man.
they seriously just build little lips
Yeah.
on these green rolling hills, and then you just launch 200 foot, you know, and it's nice green rolling hills, you know. It's good land over there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard some good things about fucking NZ. So
But that's one free ride event, but hopefully there's more. That's what I'd
More
love to
to
see.
come.
More events like that. Love it.
So, in saying all of that, going back to what we're talking about, you were saying, briefly touched on, you've got a bit of a joint of your own in that sense now, free ride playground. Firstly, I want to ask, how much dirt have you fucking moved, and how much of a job is it to do so? Like, I know personally, but a lot of people just think, oh yeah, that's some fucking dirt
That's
there,
right,
and that's
yeah.
what they don't understand and realise.
Yeah, dirt. I've been working with dirt a little bit, but mainly since this build, I've been moving kind of big amounts of dirt and big machinery.
Yep.
But we've moved tons and tons of dirt. But basically, we did an initial build. So Rob from Ride Park, who's huge help in this build, initially in
Awesome.
2018, he it was about 3 weeks. He put of his time,
Yep.
and not only that, one of his machines. And a heap of diesel he ended up putting in. So he really kind of helped me on this build because it was a big build.
Yep.
But basically we pulled out the side of a hill and basically put it over there to get us the quarter pipe landing.
Yep.
That was the main cut. So
Goal, yep.
we needed to cut out this hill because the quarter pipe landing's 27 foot tall, mine is.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, the taller the landing, the safer it is. So
fully. Yep.
I was like, let's do it tall.
Going
So-
back to bigger is better.
Yeah, and I can fill you in a little bit about my quarter pipe. Talk all day about it if you want, but it's
Go ahead.
okay. I'll give you a little rundown.
Not all day, but I know you want to talk about it,
He
so let
definitely
us
hates
know.
it. Says he-
The reason is I've built it in that hill
Yep.
because it's the quarter pipe's only going to get bigger, all right? And then as I cut into that hill, the quarter pipe's going to get bigger, yeah?
Yep.
So whereas if I just had built one like a 27 foot tall,
Lander.
60-degree lander, which is very hard to build,
Yep.
you know, instead of building that and then just trying to struggle with it at 20 foot and like, you know, just and it being unsafe and this and that. Luckily, I live in the hills,
Yep.
but we did scoop out this hill to get a 60-degree cut for 27 foot tall high.
Sick.
So, and out of virgin dirt, which won't erode as much.
Yep.
So, but the reason being, we're at X Games spec now, so we've got the 18-foot quarter at spec at radius. That's if I want to go to X Games, that's the ramp you practice. But like I said, this thing's only going to progress, and the further I go into the hill, the bigger the ramp gets and the
Yeah.
landing gets. So.
Definitely. That's a pretty smart way of doing something like
Yeah,
that when it
definitely.
is so hard to build such a tall structure out of dirt that just
Yeah.
keeps falling
Yeah,
away.
it is a bit of a task.
Yeah.
There's heaps of different
It
options.
can be done.
Yeah, you can build them out of wood. You've just got to land on something that's 60 degrees, that's about 20 foot tall.
Yep.
That's what we're after, but that's where your brain just starts wandering and this stuff and just starts
Yeah.
building things and,
Yep.
you know,
Then you've got to execute them.
then you got to execute them. So
And
We
that can be
pulled out-
sometimes hard, eh? Because it is so fucking big.
that's it. So pulled all that hill out to get that landing, and then since then it's just been, Yeah, like heaps of jumps everywhere, heaps of pockets, a big main landing which has a big, 160-footer dirt hit to it.
Yep.
So there's a couple of big hits out there, but it's always changing. So
Yeah, definitely.
Do you sort of plan? Do you want to have any sort of events or something out there?
100%.
Yep, that's your goal. That's your goal. Sorry.
Go like
Gal.
I want to run events like somewhere. It might not be there because
Yep.
at the end of the day, running events is pretty hard, getting people in,
100%.
stuff
them
like
there.
that. But for sure, some type of event or some type of like filming event or something on there. I definitely want to do something sick there.
Yep.
But time will tell. Probably next year's the time, I reckon, because in about 5 years, I probably won't be able to jump too big.
Yep.
My body will be a bit knackered, so.
Getting old, mate.
Well, I'm 30 and,
It's a problem now. It's a fucking problem, but hey.
My knees fucking jamming up now. I'm sitting like that for too long. Bro.
So you got to kind of think about it like that. Go hard while we can, but
For sure.
yeah.
Definitely. So I keep going back to wanting to know, wanting to express, and want the people to know how big and how much work you put into this, because it's a fucking big deal, man. It's a big job, and if we don't explain it and tell it, no one's
they
gonna
won't
know.
really understand. Yeah,
They're not gonna know.
Well, basically, I've tried to build a skate park out of dirt in the bottom of a valley.
Yes.
Right, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, what it is a lot of the water speed there is major when it rains. So when we do get rain in Victoria, the erosion's really bad down there.
Yep.
So one thing that we did the build, and then the thing with dirt, you just got to kind of start moving it, and then kind of see where the water goes, and then kind of.
So
move it
firstly,
again.
before you're even worrying about an up ramp or a down ramp, you're worrying about how the fucking water falls on the ground and where it's going to sit.
Yeah.
So that's a job in itself.
Yep.
Before you're even going, I want that there and I want that there, you've got to make the fucking
100%.
thing
You can
run
go
away.
real wrong.
Yeah,
You
like
go
you could
real wrong.
build all this and
Yeah,
then it
yeah.
rains
Yeah.
and then it fucking fills it all and fucks it.
And then that jump's gone and doesn't line up with that one, and it's a step down instead of a step up, and it just goes all wrong. So your vision just goes out the window. So it's like you got to just do months, build a few jumps, see how that looks, build a few jumps, kind of thing. So but you're right, it is a sick place to ride. Like I really am grateful to have it, have access and be able to just go dig holes in my old man's property.
Yep.
That's him being a good old man.
For sure. Yeah.
But
he doesn't have the machinery. You didn't have the machinery to begin with. You've gone and got yourself a skid steer Bobcat now.
Yep.
But obviously couldn't have done it even if you did just have that one machine. So Rob was a major part, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And obviously that goes with driving those fucking major big machines. It costs a lot of money to run them, to start them, to all the rest of it. So it's a big, in a whole, it's a massive operation, yeah?
Yeah, it is. It's like that whole compound really was 2018 I built it, so 2 years ago, and it was all based around the X Games, so it was all based around that quarter pipe.
Yep. And realistically, in that 2 years' time, you've ridden it not a lot, hey? Like for the amount of work you've put in there.
Yeah,
like,
I've ridden it.
Don't get me wrong, you've ridden it.
Yeah, just when I need to. So like if I had a comp coming up where I needed to do a best whip practice, I'd ride it there, or a quarter pipe here and there, a little bit of filming here and there. But I've never had. So I've just recently bought a new machine which maintains it perfectly.
Yep.
So I've never had that. So it's never been maintained.
Yep. Okay.
So the initial build got done in 2018. It's never been maintained. So
and without the maintained dirt and all that, you might as well not ride it.
Yeah, it gets all eroded and the ramps go and that. So now I've got the machine. It's just definitely a big investment for me to kind of make that place come alive. Yep. And then I am doing some work in this machine. Yeah, so it's like a different earth moving alley that I'm going down as well for after riding. But it definitely supports it. It builds good jumps.
Fuck yeah, awesome. That's what you want, I guess, when you're fucking laying out money. Like in that sense, you want it to do its job, and it's good to know that it fucking does.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck yeah. Well, in saying all of that, I want to know personally, just in a sense of living, if you didn't have bikes and you didn't ride from the get-go, what the fuck would you be doing now, man? Where would you be and what would you be doing, do you reckon?
I don't know. We've all been asked that question, but I haven't been asked it for years. I really don't even have an answer that I used to go back to.
Yeah, because it's not really like you think about it.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
It's
mate,
this is life and this is all I know.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard.
It would be hard, but it would be something to. I'm a real easygoing person, so it would be something easy going.
Yep, and fun. Because you like fun stuff.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So, and I guess that's why you've gone and got yourself this machine, obviously to maintain what you're doing right now in your life, but then it's carrying over, it still involves dirt, it's fucking fun, and brings money to the table. So that's probably...
So over the last 2 years, building this compound and moving all this dirt, I've really just found the niche for
digging dirt.
Moving. Yeah. So, you can't ride these dirt bikes forever, but you can sit in a digger for a little bit longer than ride them. So I'm interested in it, and it's kind of I really like earth moving. It's just at the end of the day, it's machinery, it's mechanics. It's all stuff that I'm interested in.
Yep. Well, hopefully by the time the boots get hung up and the bike's put over in the corner, there's the movement's big enough that you can go into building jumps for all these new riders.
I'd love to.
That would be perfect, man. That
I'd
would be
love
fucking
to.
sick.
Yeah,
You
or
get
even
the call
building
up.
tracks or something like that would. If it got big enough to do, like, there's a couple of guys building some tracks, motocross tracks, private tracks, that would be a goal for sure. Like at the end, instead of building roads, build tracks and
For
jumps.
someone else.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that, building
sculpting
roads
dirt.
would be fun for a bit, but you'd get fucking over it.
Yeah, like just
digging
making
jumps
things flat.
I think you could do that for fucking years and years on end.
Yeah, no, it is, and there's a trick to it. All right, so it's like,
For sure.
yeah, you need it. It's there's people that can ride dirt bikes, and you put them in a machine, they cannot be able to jump. Even though they want it to look like that, and then there's guys the other way. So it's all understanding dirt and everything. It's a complete different ball game, but I'm getting into it and really enjoying it. I'll go up there and I'll do 2 or 3 hours in the machine every morning. Before my coaching and riding. So I'm kind of doing machine work and riding every day. And
Just getting those skills up.
skills, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Good shit.
Never stop learning, eh?
Fuck yeah.
No, you always learn them.
No, it's good, man. It's good that you sort of got that. Still got that little bit of a focus. You know what you want. You're hungry for it, and you're doing what the things you need to do to
That's it.
get that thing. And and the benefit of it being, you've got this new skid steer that at the end of the day can keep your compound clean and stuff, but the next day it can give you a job, and that can pay for the fuel that you put in it to do your compound. Like they're those little things man, like as you're on the right ball, and should be good to see sort of what comes out of it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what you do with it all, to be honest, because like we've spoken about, not many people are doing it, and you've got a fucking good drive at the moment, and if it gets traction and starts moving along for Aussie scene, fuck, you couldn't ask for much better of a person to try and blow it up,
Oh, cheers, man. No, it will be good, but it's like we said before. Like it's up to them to get it out to the internet. These free riders, So it doesn't really matter what you're doing unless people are seeing it. So it's definitely an effort to try and get even footage. We can't ride and film at the same time. So even if you said just put some riding videos up of you on Wednesday, how?
Right.
So there's definitely, and that's what I'm looking into, So next year I'll look up to riders like Jacko Strong, in Australia, who have kind of not only made great career out of freestyle and riding dirt bikes, but now they're kind of going into the more media side and the
documenting
filming.
it. And
Documenting it, and I've lucky been enough to be involved with him in getting to work around some of the cameras and getting some of the shots and stuff that they plan on doing. And I'm into it. I really am.
So once you started getting a little bit of understanding of what they were using camera-wise and how sick it was.
And the effort they put in.
Yeah,
for,
that's
for
probably
a 2-second
one of the
shot.
biggest parts.
Like a 1 week of work, a 2-second shot.
Yep.
When you think of it like that.
It's full on.
It's full on, and it even becomes more full on when you're actually doing it. The little bits and
That's
pieces
it.
me and Borgs have done, nothing on that level as such.
Yeah, but still,
it's still grueling for the amount of time it's
no one
there.
sees it because they just see that little bit.
But it was done. It's just there.
Yeah, they
It
see
looks
that
good.
2 seconds that you strived for.
Yeah.
It's 100%. On that note, though, like you've done a little bit of riding at Jacko's. You did the you were in what's that called? Outback Attack, I think it is. Yeah.
One of his edits. Yeah. So he's
what's the one with all the fucking jumps? What's that actually?
The main line.
World of X Games.
World of X Games.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like on that, like what that was pretty gnarly.
that was sick to be invited to something like that. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
that's an event that Jacko puts on. does it yearly, but
Yep.
same thing this time with the corona. Everything's been flattened.
Yep.
Kind of event was. Really.
Including the curve.
Yeah.
Fucking
Still gotta
drop
wear
it, guys.
masks,
Let
though,
it fucking
anyway.
go, guys.
Fucking- So yeah, so obviously that's been canned. There would have
Yeah,
been
so
one
we
this
would've done
year,
that.
but that's been
Yeah.
canned.
And that's just Jacko's event. It's kind of a specialty kind of event, so it's all dirt.
Yep.
It's kind of more BMX spec, so it's like 6 jumps in a row, so like a trail pushy trail spec.
Yep.
All third gear jumps, so all 120 foot.
Yep.
So you get some
So
8.
pushy trail spec on steroids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hard.
it is. And it's he's same thing. He's put the time and effort to push all them up, and
100%.
and he runs that event, and that's sick. That's a good event, and
Yep.
didn't get to run it this year, but hopefully next year we get to get back out there, and he's even keen on the free ride scene, and trying to expand
man.
it,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
definitely, man.
So,
That's good.
but I've spent a lot of time riding with him as a racer. I'd always go past his and go jump the ramps, and that's when I started going a bit into the free ride,
Yep.
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 So started, going to the races and going to jump the ramps, have a bit more fun,
Yeah.
and then go to race and have a crap day,
Yep.
and then go back home, and then that's what I mean. I started having a bit more fun just riding my bike.
Yep.
So, and Jacko's a big part of that because he's just up in Wagga,
Yep.
Yep.
and then still to this day, still do plenty of riding with him, and when he's home, he's always in America and stuff with the X
He's
Games and
always
that.
floating
Yeah.
around everywhere.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like you can go. I could go really. There's a lot of events. You can really dig deep. All over the world. There's little things going up, and you can put effort in, but you only get is what you put in.
Yeah.
What you
So,
put in is what you get out.
yeah, and I'm just really. I don't know. I don't want to go too big with it. I'm not trying to go too big. I'm just trying to. I've got a few goals that I want to do within just personally.
Yep.
Vision that I have, in the free riding, and that's really it. Like best whip and quarter pipe at X Games. That's definitely a goal. I want to go and get an X Games medal, but it's
Fuck
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
it's not like it's not a major goal.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
I
It'd
just
be
want to
nice.
I just want to be doing it. Like
Definitely,
competing's cool, but I want to be just doing it
Yep.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
the fun comes from doing it, not from winning the medal.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. When the event's there and you get a little bit of competitiveness in you, and you
Well,
start jumping this thing, that's where we'll see what happens. When
Yep.
but I've only had the opportunity to do that one in Sydney, and it got canned. So
And you've obviously got a bit of a competitive bone in your body because you've raced for so many years and
Yeah.
all that. So
Yeah.
it'd come out.
Yeah, it
as
comes
much as you
out.
want to have fun and just be chill and cool on the bike and
Yeah.
not worry
well,
about
with
it.
the quarter pipe,
That
will
little
come
voice
out.
still comes in and says, "You better fucking win this, cunt."
Yeah, well, the quarter pipe will be that one where it's like, but I've never got to compete yet.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
with the best whip, I lost a lot of interest in that after the judging.
Yep.
Doing something and putting it in someone else's hands and getting them to decide, especially with best whip when they're going so big.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's really hard to judge. I give it up to the judges, but what else do you do?
Yeah.
That's
get,
right.
get the crowd to judge. They tried that.
Yeah, that's what they did.
That's not a good idea.
No, so that's a tough one. So, but at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I'll just throw the whips that I throw,
Yep.
film them, and if you like it, you watch them. If you don't, just don't watch them.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. You're not needing to win all
Yeah.
these events to go out and have
That's
fun
it.
and do what you love.
Yeah.
You just do that.
But a best whip comp, I tell you, being in a best whip comp is one of the best rushes you get. It's, yeah.
Is it because it's consistent? Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
all sort of riding together
It's
and
a
you're
jam.
just throwing them down.
It's a
Any
it's a
comp,
good
man,
time.
I tell you,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
any kind of high stress but fun, adrenaline fueled fucking
You push each
pressure
other.
system. It's sick.
Yeah,
I-
and the
I
thing with best
fucking love
whip,
it.
like, there's only one person jumping. So what's all your competitors doing?
Yeah.
They're watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and they just watch you do that whip, and they got to back it up.
Yep.
And it just the level goes bang, 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 and that's best whip.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good kind of spectacle as well.
Definitely. Everyone
You know?
loves a fucking
Yeah.
whip.
Yeah.
And then the whip will never get old.
No matter
That's
what's
it.
been done on the bike to date, I still reckon it's one of the nicest looking things that can be
Yeah.
done. Like
Yeah.
it's fluent, it looks right.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, that's also been one of those things. You've had like the whip under your belt for a while now, haven't you?
yeah, I've always enjoyed whipping, and I've been semi good at it, I suppose. But I've never really kind of pushed at doing events and stuff. Like
Yep.
could have back in the day when it first kind of come around, but yeah, just never really pushed hard at kind of getting them. So when the one at Sydney came, I went, and I ended up 6th or 7th, I think,
Yep.
at Sydney.
Yep.
So not a gold medal, but like,
that was with a big name like
oh,
field.
X Games, yeah. So I got everyone out. It was, everyone was there.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it was judged.
Yes.
And another thing, I just didn't ride any good in that day. But yeah, I was still learning. That's 2018.
You always feel like that when you're put under the pressure. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I could have done better than that. I should have done this. I should have done that. Like, realistically, man, from the stands, it looked fucking good.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, nah, you're right.
Yeah.
Look at where we were.
No, I was still learning about the whip and that. Like now, I'm really ready to go on the whip.
Yep.
Because I've learnt so much, even about the ramps as you brought up before. I just used to do the same as you. Even in 2017, just there's a ramp, 75-foot gap, just jump it.
Yep.
But now learning a bit more, especially with the quarter pipe, I've really learned a bit more about it, and there is a lot more to it, So yeah, I've learnt that at the end of the day, the bigger the jump you can do, the bigger the whip you can do.
Definitely.
So, and then I worked out even riding with some of the guys from the States, like Berriman and that, just getting some info. All their best whip comps, all their ramps are all jacked up.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like 3 meters tall.
Poppy as
It's
up
still
and
75
down,
foot.
but up and down 75.
Oh, even some of them they drag them back,
Yep.
and that's it. And I only just got onto that. So I was practicing this mellowed out 75-foot jump, and then I went up to Sydney and I did my best. But then I come home and I did a couple of edits with Jacko. We did like a sand quarry edit up at Wagga.
Yep.
And just around that time, we just started jumping a bit more jacked up 75s, and then it just opened my eyes to what are you missing out on,
Yep.
So much.
So it's
so
a
much
big
easier.
difference for when you're actually trying to do shit.
Yeah, the longer you are in the air, and basically the taller the last foot, so the taller the degree of the last foot.
Yep. The steeper it is, basically.
Yeah, the bigger whip you can do off it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, that's it. So.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to bring it all the way back to what you started talking about
Keep bringing
before
it back.
and didn't finish, man. Was you crash in New Zealand? What the fuck happened?
Oh, yeah. So, Jan, Feb, went over there. And I was on a two-stroke. So, I was riding a two-stroke, a bike I wasn't really familiar with.
Yep.
So, just travelling over there, I had a four-stroke lined up, and then I think it fell through. Anyway, got a two-stroke KTM. My suspension still fits it.
Yep.
So, anything my suspension goes in, I can go and have some fun on it, So I went over there and rode this two-stroke and just, in the vibe, just started to get carried away with riding. And I was starting to adapt to it, but then the first day was the freeride section.
Yep.
And we went over into the hills and, I just we started jumping the big jumps, and then I just basically got caught up on a jump, and usually on a four-stroke I'd be fine. I went a little bit long, basically, and I'd usually bring it back down and stomp it, but being on the two-stroke, it didn't handle how I wanted in the air, and I just landed real back heavy.
Right.
Um,
And did that start on the run-in on the jump? Like, was it a little bit all different? And did you hit it differently, being on a different bike, and then it threw you into that? Or was it due to the bike?
No, it was a blind kind of jump, so it depended on the angle that you went, depending on how big the jump was, if that kind of makes sense. So imagine a jump, you can't see it landing. If you go in that direction, it's 100 foot. If you go in that direction, it's 80 foot.
Yep.
No one's really jumped it yet, so there's no lines off it. So you have to kind of just guess a little bit.
Yes,
but you do these figures in your head when you're riding, and like I said, I'd be happy to land that hard on a 450.
Yep.
But when I was in the air, it didn't kind of handle the way
React the same.
Yeah, generally due to the engine brake. But it dipped in the back, and I landed back heavy, and I ended up dislocating both my shoulders.
Man, and I've not seen someone nearly blow off the back of a bike so much but still hold on.
It's crazy how hard I was holding onto the bike. That's it.
Yeah, you could tell in that sequence shot of like the way your ankles were folded and your arms were stretched, and then to dislocate both fucking shoulders and still ride away and step off the bike once it stopped rolling.
It was
arsey fucking.
Yeah.
That's some good grip you got there, son.
Bro, that's gnarly. Like that. Dang it, it's full on. Like,
it was a real odd. Wasn't a crash. Yeah, it was a real odd injury.
Odd rollout.
But because generally you blow your hands off, you have a big impact. Usually the first thing to go, your hands blow off.
Yep.
And then that's
Head
you'll
to
crash.
the bars.
Yeah, and generally crash and maybe hurt yourself from hitting the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. But this was just a full impact, double shoulder dislocation, and then like I was still traveling semi-straight. So even though I had no hands on the bike was still traveling. I was still on it.
Yep.
So I'm realising as I'm riding, my shoulders have popped out. This is kind of all new to me. It happened that quick. Yeah. At first, I kind of thought it was a little bit worse than just a double shoulder dislocation. I felt a bit more
Like pain.
Yeah, like maybe my bony
Back.
damage is shoulders, like bone have maybe broken and gone out the back, you know. But as dislocations they feel real odd.
Weird.
Yeah,
Man.
and locked up and all that. So yeah, it was basically just riding my bike with no arms, slowed down enough because I didn't want to crash in that position. That would be worse.
That would hurt so much more, man.
You got to put your hand out and it wouldn't be there, and then that could get worse. So I ended up slowing down enough I could step off the back, and then it was a bad time right there.
Yeah.
Weirdly though, I wonder if your hands did blow off. Would you have dislocated? Like, did you only dislocate your shoulders because you were holding on so fucking tight?
Yeah, it was.
Like, if your hands blew off, you wouldn't have dislocated your shoulders, but you would have smashed your face open.
Never know. I reckon if my hands blew off, I would have maybe smashed my face on the bars.
Yep.
That wouldn't have been too bad, and then I would have crashed. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't know what would have happened there. I could have maybe broken my hand.
Yep.
You know,
Fuck, craziness.
but it was luckily it was just a shoulder dislocation, not very bad.
Yep.
And another thing, the event kind of got real bad weather that night, and it got cancelled the next day.
Yeah.
So I was like,
right.
I'm banged up, but I'm like not really missing out on much.
Yep.
Yeah. It would have been
Because that's a
spilling.
bad thing, missing out, man.
Oh yeah, sitting there, on the sidelines, injured. Not only are you sore as fuck,
Yeah,
but you're
missing
watching
out,
everyone else ride, man.
It could have been bad, but it was like semi-bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Fucking oath.
But got home from that, and then that's really all there was this year, you know. And then that's when really the corona hit, and I had plans this year. I had definitely plans to go to X Games, you know, in Minneapolis or wherever it is in America. And I don't think they really announced it until it got canned, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was like these plans of, you know, maybe having like a online kind of X Games thing, but it just kind of fizzled out. But so next year, you know, hopefully.
Sure, man. And I guess that's not really a bad thing, you know, for people like yourself. It's a little bit of prep time.
Yeah, more time.
You've got a
to
little
prep.
bit of time now, not prep for your riding and whatnot, like just in an all-round sense for the sport, the freeride, everything we've spoken about. Like, it's probably not a bad thing, really.
Oh, mate, I always need time. That's like the worst thing right now is like time trying to get shit done, and just need the time to do it. So, like next year will definitely be, you know, wouldn't hurt having a year off. But like, man, the thing is with X Games and like big events, there's only one of them, not many of them. So when you miss out, it's like, oh, I got to wait a year.
Yeah.
So
And there's nothing else
that's
that
it.
comes close to it. So it is. It's
But I'm keen. Like, hope there are a couple of new things in the works. There is actually an event in about 5 weeks.
Yep.
In Sydney, so it's a speed and style event, it's freestyle, speed and style, best whip event.
Yep.
First of this year with COVID and that.
Sick.
So they can have like 2,000 people in, because I think Sydney are having music festivals and stuff now.
Yep.
So I think they have a handful of people in, but then like inside the event, because it's in an indoor arena, and then it'll be online as well.
sick.
Yeah.
So that's one thing at least this year that I'm
A little bit of
planning
focus
on.
on. Yep.
I'm going through it now to see if I can get up there to compete. And so best whip, speed and style, which is another kind of event that, as you would know, Shmeet, I don't even know, Borgie, back at, you know, when that was happening, speed and style.
We didn't do much speed and style when, like, that was.
Didn't really kick off because
it
was hard to judge.
Yeah.
So
There's a few different factors that was made it a bit difficult, eh?
Speed and
big
style
track.
came in as I feel like speed and style came in at X Games when like the whole Aussie scene died. Like as RFD sort of all
Around
that
that
shit.
era.
Once that started coming to an end, that's when they started bringing that. So there was just no events here.
Yeah.
It was just
especially over here, there wasn't.
Here there
Again,
was nothing, man.
same deal. Like we
The
get
only-
fucking
there's
asked with all that
nothing
shit.
here,
We're talking
but
about
even-
states. It's still
we did that one event in fucking Tassie.
Tassie,
there were things popping up, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean. There's always things just popping up, and that's
And then there
what we
was
need more
another
of.
one. There was one in Tassie and then there was one in SA, wasn't there?
Yep. Yeah, we
Same-
went to
same
SA.
event.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you do both of them?
Me and Tang went, I think.
Were you at?
And Broads maybe. We all, there was
I think
there was maybe
yeah.
every year I think we did, there was like something speed and style related, you know. So that's one event.
Yeah, it
You
was.
want like
Yeah,
a few, you know.
yeah.
So this is something there, but speed and style, for those that don't know, it's kind of racing.
FMX and speed as well.
So
like,
you race, it's like a two-man race, like a knockout kind of format, yeah, and then it's obviously winner and loser, but then there's the trick. You got to throw tricks as well off your set jumps.
Yep.
Yeah, like
And then
winning the
their
race
jumps.
doesn't win you the race,
No,
if that makes sense.
you can still win the race by getting last.
That's right. Depends how
Kind of
steezy you
thing.
were, motherfucker.
yeah, exactly. It's all judged. So you got tricks, and then you got a style factor and the whip factor and all that. So that's
Which I fucking love that.
It's
When that event first came out, I was like, "Wow, how fucking good!"
Yeah, I remember watching the
like,
first one. I remember it was like Twitch and fucking Feist and shit going against each other. It was intense.
sick.
It
Yeah,
was
at X Games.
good. It was
like,
good
yeah.
to watch. It was.
Yeah.
It had that adrenaline of like,
New,
it's sick to
man.
watch someone do a run of like fucking extreme shit, but it's also sick to watch like
Under a
two
bit of
really good
pressure,
cunts, a
yeah.
little bit of pressure,
Yeah.
just throwing seat grabs and fucking
and back into it, kind
Yeah.
of like the Pastrana days when it was the X Games, of ripping around the
Always
course.
ripping
Yeah.
X
Had that-
fighters, man.
straight
But then
on
even
it,
just
man.
like you got like then bringing in the racers that can do a few tricks, and then the freestylers that are pretty good around the corner. You got guys like throwing backflips,
Yeah.
Supermans cranking big whips.
yeah.
So sick.
That's
but still
what I
being
like to
smooth
see. Yeah.
on the ground as well, in
Yeah.
through the corners,
Yeah.
like can
Throwing
ride
a
a bike.
pass, and then
Sick.
100% as you're doing these tricks. So the big part of it, and the hard thing for the freestyle guys, is thinking about these big tricks, because you want to do big tricks, to get big points, but
Yeah.
then trying to
Huck it.
Execute it.
kind of like get ready for a corner after it, and like get in
Yeah.
that race. Maybe a bit of arm pump.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
think
arm
so.
pump would be
Super flip with
real.
arm pump.
But that was the other good reason for it that I personally liked was you sit back and you watch these events and all these dudes that have ridden freestyle comps just on a normal course.
Yeah.
You couldn't really see their style of riding or how well they could ride other features on a bike and that, and it brung out different fucking areas that riders were strong at that you
Yeah.
couldn't see in any other fields. Like, yeah, jumping a ramp that way, it's all pretty good, but you can't. Well, for
Do
being a rider,
stutters.
you can't.
Yeah,
like,
we've
you'll
definitely
fuck-
separated
you'll
a couple
fuck
of those
yourself on
freestylers.
steroids.
Where you put a couple of fucking features from a track in front of you in between all those big dog jumps. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, get fucked, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
look
You got to
at it,
stand
like,
up
fuck
to
yeah,
do
like-
that, bud. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. There is that. There are some freestyle guys that can only jump that ramp.
Oh man,
Oh,
there's,
yeah.
there's
only
so
do
many of
those
them.
tricks.
Yeah,
right?
they
You
wouldn't
put
know
'em-
what actual bike skills are if it
There's
slapped
so
them in the
many.
But
face.
that's just the way they've been brought up. They've probably
Yep.
only jumped that ramp ever, and
Yep.
that's it.
Well,
And
there's a
that's-
good handful of people, man. Like when I was riding, that's one thing I pushed to not be. And there was a handful of guys that rode just shows on the bitumen and 75-foot ramp to a portable lander. RFD come about, and the organisers of that and a decent bunch of the riders in RFD with the organisers wanted more than just two 75-foot ramps. So we made courses and made them bigger and all that shit. And then these people that would ride those fucking shows throughout, just that one ramp, one down ramp, they'd come to these and they wouldn't jump anything else but
I
the
remember.
ramp there,
I
man. And this was on multiple occasions, like all
There was a whole
different
handful
places,
of dudes,
different
man.
riders, like
I
just
know some of the courses
actually
you guys are
saying,
building. They were like due to courses.
oh man, that
There was some
Coonabarra brand
yeah.
course
Third gear
was
jumps, yep,
fucking
Coona,
sick.
that was sick.
Even like the not just Coona, like that was a standout.
That was
Shout out to Sturdo.
'Cause even
You,
like-
you done a fucking cracking job on that
Fucking oath, that
course,
shit
man.
was
Like you really
wild.
fucking did. It was sick. And Raina for holding all those events and giving us riders back in that day to express
a
ourselves.
platform, yeah,
Fuck
man.
yeah, Raina. On
Fucking
ya.
oath.
Um,
Good shit.
but yeah, there was also that other joint. What was it? Rocky Valley.
Rockhampton.
No, there was Rockhampton. That was
Rocky Valley
Rocky
in
Valley in
Mudgee.
Mudgee. And there was
That had a-
90-foot
that had a quarter
hits. There
pipe?
was 100-foot hits. Yeah, there was a quarter pipe there.
No
There
one
was-
hit it apart from fucking Joey Shep. Like
Yeah.
that's what sort of times we were in. Like
Yeah.
no one. It was like
Yeah.
people were
Again, it wasn't set at all. Where
Sketch.
it wasn't right.
12-foot one, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
right at all. Like it was probably harder to jump the way it was than if it was set up right. But yeah, even then, like there was a 4-pack of dirt hits there. There was a 90-foot jump ramp. There was I think a 100-foot ramp. And all that shit. I fucking loved it. I think I was the only one to jump those ramps that weekend. And
That's
and
definitely
man,
separates the skill. Like
Fuck
even
yeah.
getting into third gear.
yeah,
Like,
all of it, man.
Yeah.
Like there was, and I
Rockhampton
guess-
was a big one too, because Rockhampton had that
Rocky
120.
was
It was like
huge,
a
man.
120
Yeah,
ram
that
out the
was
back,
sick.
and it
That
was
was
fucking
so
getting
sick.
every cunt, man. Like I
Yeah.
just remember it was like there was those few dudes that were like, "That's the sickest jump,"
Yeah.
and then everyone else was like,
the Ambo just needs to park
Nah.
there.
For sure.
"It's like not going near that fucking thing."
Yeah, man, there's some fucking good,
Because even
good
now, like, the
courses.
freestyle courses, they're like, I mean, X Games and all these Nitro and everything. It's all these events are jammed in tight where they can jam all the people in, so it's a small space to work with.
Yep.
So even their courses and stuff are just getting a bit more simple. You know, there's nothing better than the old, like you said, some of these Aussie courses I definitely seen some of them. I seen the Coonabarra band when I was racing there once because I was off the back of the motocross.
Yeah, that's
track.
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I remember floating over the back of the jump there, and I was like,
What the fuck's
Jesus
that?
Christ, what's that?
Yeah,
Keep doing me motos. But then I remember later on, I think it was Broads, he just done a comp there or something. And really opened my eyes to, that was a pretty big course. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that fucking weekend, that fucking roads fucking crashing. So many people
That was a
crashed.
big weekend, man. That was the
huge
day
weekend,
That was
Andy
the
Andy
weekend,
broke
yeah.
his back that
Well, it's a
weekend.
big
Yeah,
course.
Andy
Yeah, man.
fucking hurt himself big time. And
But what? Broads
man,
crashed
Brody
that day.
crashed.
And
That was
you
a fucked up weekend for me. I was on my bike, I was practicing, all good. Practiced that night before, jumped a fair few of the jumps for the first time. I was like, fuck yeah, feeling good, whatever. Then we had good practice the next day, but I don't know what happened. Brody might not have rode the night before, and he rode the next day.
I reckon we got there pretty late.
Late, yeah, I think
Yeah.
he did. And then he started riding in the morning, so we went out, had a session. Then he crashed, popped his shoulder, and I seen him go
But
down.
you weren't riding.
I
You were
wasn't
sitting
riding.
on. You
I
were just
wasn't
over
in
the
the same
vans and
practice
shit.
session as him because that
Yeah.
it was on the comp day, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like sessions and
Yep.
getting it done.
Yep.
I was sitting there watching him like, oh, fuck, he's going down. Yep, sure enough, bit of dust. And here I am going, fuck, I'll save you, bro. Here I am, I'm coming. Fucking start running over to him, jump off a fucking ledge with my moto gear on, boots, knee braces, everything. Full, put me weak leg out, jumped
Break a
off this ledge, and my knee just went
Oh.
fully out, man.
Not even
Dislocated. Not even riding. Dislocated.
Helping
Full.
Broads.
Yeah, knee brace on and everything. Unbuckled boot. That was probably why it went a little bit.
Definitely. I remember seeing it, man. I remember coming back over the other side of the down. Actually, I was on the side of Downey because I got his crash. It's on camera.
Yeah.
And he like ate shit, and then it was sort of like, right, he was in front of me, and then you were behind, like, we were like in a row. So like I ran up to him,
fully.
and then I'd seen you like coming, and then next thing I know, I've looked up, and you're like rolling down this hill.
I was on the ground, man, because
Screaming.
by the
Everyone's
time
like, what
I
the
got-
Then
fuck
Broads
is
helps you
going
out.
on, man?
Bro, by the
I'm actually
time-
not too bad now.
By the time Brody, I mean, I'd hit the ground and it was like, whatever. I'm like, oh, fuck, that hurt, whatever. And I looked up and there was an ambo driving past me that I'd waved over for Brody in the first place.
That
And
you
I was like,
needed.
fuck him, come here, I'm hurt now. But it didn't work.
Oh man, that's some classic
But
shit.
yeah, there's a fucking bunch of shit that happened like that. But
Good times.
fucking good times for sure. Exactly what I was about to say. Get carried away with those good times now.
No, that's why we do it. That's why we
Fuck
do it.
yeah.
Bro, we're killing this, man. We're at a minute 2, right?
An hour 12, I'll rephrase that.
Fuck, I do that all the time. I am so like,
So we've been having a yarn.
we've had a
Yeah,
good
we have,
yarn.
man. I think it's been a pretty involved, good knowledge in the motorcycle world put out there.
Yeah, we could go on for hours.
Oh man,
like,
we could. And I was just about to say, is there anything else you wanted to touch on and talk about, like personally for yourself or what you're doing, what you want, anything, man?
No, I think we just talked a little bit about the free ride. That's the main thing, I suppose.
Yeah,
With my riding, I wanted to talk about, but
That's your
what
focus
you
at the
wanted
moment,
to
isn't it?
express.
yeah, but there's really nothing to even talk about because nothing happened
'Cause
yet.
No, there's not. But I think it's
We're talking about something that we might be able
That
to
may
show,
happen.
Yeah.
you know, or something happened. But
no,
yeah.
but like
We're
we
manifesting here,
said,
dudes. We're
for sure,
manifesting.
because like we said last week when we were talking about getting this going and doing it, and that is like, let's just we got to really focus in and fucking hoe in on telling people whether they like it or not or know it, like that this is happening, and if it is seen more or
Supported
more or
Yeah.
you know, just not even seen or supported, just I don't
Just
know,
understood.
but understood.
Just-
if
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you know, it's fucking good. And now maybe that's where we've been going wrong, man. All this time we haven't been speaking about it before it becomes something, and when it becomes something, it's too fucking late, and
Yeah.
it's just no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so there's a few things, but it's since the internet, that's the main thing. Like,
We can talk
yeah,
about it,
we can talk about it. But
so
yeah,
let's
it's just,
do it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a matter of kind of time, and the thing with the freeride, it's just not many people doing it because it's you're either a racer, you know, or a freestyle like you always have been. But the freeride, it really does require a pretty unique spike skill, because of just the scale of everything.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
That's pretty
So
much
on that note, if you're an ex-racer and you've got bike skills,
Start
build a fucking big jump out the back and then call Lewi in and you can do mad shit together. It'll be sick.
That's it. It's more just like trying to find people on the same wavelength that enjoy.
And level, you know.
Yeah,
You got you're at a level that is like, you know, it's not just blow-ins. You need to have a pretty decent array of bike skills.
Which going racing like for 20 years you gather that.
Exactly.
You know?
You know, like you could be a freestyler for 10 and like unless you were like someone like him that focused on aiming for dirt jumps and wanting to take it that you could rock up at your joint and go, there's no fucking way I'm jumping any of that. Like I've seen it happen before.
Yeah,
I've rocked up at compounds with people and they've gone, yeah. No. Like fuck no, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
especially so that's another thing we probably touch on up in the hills. Everyone's blown under scale like in the hills because of where it's like where you look. So we're in a big valley up there, so everything looks small down the bottom.
Yep.
All right. So you think if you put something on flat ground, the jumps look big. So the jumps are huge out there. Like some of them scare me.
Bit of an optical illusion.
Yeah, optical illusion is what it is. Like if you got a big mountain in the background and put something in front of it, that looks small.
Yeah, it's always going to look small.
But it's the same size. It's just the mountain makes it look small. So the same like with my jumps. Yeah, like if you look from a big scale, like some of the drone shots, pretty small. I'll jump that. No, like they are really big up there, and it's a lot of dirt in what I've moved. So
100%, and that's why I tried to express it earlier on in the cast about how much you've done there, and because and I know you can't explain it, and you can't really even see it via video or pics. You have to see it in real life to believe it. And man, I can vouch for it. I was out there not long ago and had a bit of a ride, and there's big shit there, man. And like you were saying, like you can see it on footage or whatever, but when you're actually down there and sizing it up and
looking up to
it, even though you've got those bigger hills in the background trying to make those things smaller, you kind of size it up and go, hang on a minute, well, I'm this far away and it's still that tall and it's this and it's holy fuck, like that's big, like it is, man. And that's why I tried to express on how much work you've been doing, what it's taken and all that, because hats off to you, bro. You've fucking
cheers, man.
Done some decent moving up there, and it's going to be a work of art when it's complete.
Yeah, that's it. It's the main dirt is in the landings, as you know.
For sure.
So your ramps you can make them out of metal, and a dirt up ramp has not many tons in it.
Yep.
Because you can build them pretty steep, but the landers are the ones that just take the dirt. So there's two good landers out there, then the quarter pipe lander, and another lander. Like there's banks everywhere. Like it's really going to start coming together soon. Like where we can just So at the end of the day, soon it's going to be so good that we need to film it really well, and that's what I mean with the landscape. It needs to be filmed properly.
Right.
Yeah, because you can't just it's not flat. Yeah, so you're on the hills the whole time, and with the sun, and as you know, we're filming, sun's a big thing, and lighting and shadows and da. So that's where, and drones is a big one up there because of the landscape. Drone needs to be used. So it's just a big project, and I'm now where, like I started just getting videos on my phone, posting them up on Insta. People like seeing me ride, all good. Now I'm getting so into it. Phone's not enough.
Yeah, it's not cutting it for you.
Yeah, no, I want the better cameras. I want to elevate. I want to get out of the choppers. I want to get drones now. Like this is. I'm starting to follow the media cameras and stuff.
Fuck yeah, and that's what this sport, the movement, I will say, because that's what it is at the moment. That's what it needs. More people like it.
If you don't have that mentality, then you won't get anywhere because it's for the content. You're actually you're meant to. You've got to build this compound for content.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's the sort. If you don't have that in your original vision, then you're just going to build a compound like everyone else. And
it's a good place to train, and that's it. But I'm not. It's a little bit more to that. I want to show. And the end of the day, think about the content. And I get people saying to me all the time, "Why do you always film your ride and this and that?" At the end of the day, it's memories.
Yeah.
So this is digital memories that you can suck all you want that we're filming and using your phones and that. But it's just memories. So back in the day, you can look back at photos. Like we don't take photos really anymore. Like I don't anyway.
It's all footage.
It's all footage. So they're just photos.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of them.
Yeah, that's right.
So why not? You can always delete them.
Yep.
Yep.
And like and from being a dude that's always filmed shit, there's nothing fucking better than being able to go back to footage you filmed 10 years ago and go, remember that?
Yeah, exactly right.
And people don't, and even if it's just that, like, you riding, you'll be able to go back to that in 10 years and go, fuck, I was shit then. Or, fuck, actually, that was my peak. This was the best I ever rode.
Yeah.
And this is the footage of that. Like, if you don't record that, it'll never happen again. You'll never be able to show that again.
That's
and, like,
it.
that's a big thing. That's always been a big thing on, like, that's why it's like, it's just a record.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Definitely.
you know.
Catching memories the whole time. And
100%.
yeah, it's cool. Like, you guys are in the industry doing it. And to me, like, I'm really not I'm not trying to get into it as like a money maker. It's more just to show people what I'm doing, you know, because we're doing some pretty cool stuff down there.
100%.
Definitely,
and it's, you know, no one's going to see it unless we put it on the internet.
Yep.
So
That's what's got to be done, I guess.
Damn
that's
straight.
it, yeah. So next year will really
Bunch of
come
film.
alive. It just takes time.
Yep.
I got a few, you know, big film kind of things planned, you know, but
Yep.
till then it's still just moving dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still heaps more jumps to be built. So
Yeah. Fun times.
Plenty of work to be done.
that's it.
I've got one more thing, just because you did touch on it with Sammy Moore and Fist, and I just think it's a pretty good thing. You've got your own fucking custom gloves, signature gloves, eh?
I do.
That'd have to be pretty
Finally.
cool.
Yeah. No,
Is that a little bit of like a
oh yeah, definitely.
pat on your own back? Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, that feels fucking
Yeah.
pretty good to be able to have a signature fucking range of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have many sponsors, and I've kind of, you know, right now I've just really stuck with the sponsors that have always been loyal to me. So being Fist, they make the gloves. Sam Moore, I helped him. He's one of my first sponsors, me and Jared McNeil.
Yeah,
We were the
yeah.
first two right there.
True.
Still got the gloves, the first set, you know, that he ever made.
Nice.
And then he's developed into what he is now. So it's cool to
Sick.
still be with him. Even working, like a big thing with the gloves and sponsorship and stuff, like working through with other companies with gear and the racing. It was being hard. Like some gear companies want you to wear their stuff head to toe.
Yeah,
And then you got someone making gloves and goggles and that, and you want to try and it gets a bit messy. But
definitely.
I've been lucky enough because I've got mates that have had to, including Jared, that
Yep.
have had to step away, you know, because of sponsorship things. But
Yep.
luckily enough, stayed with Sam, and now, he does kind of signature gloves for a lot of his riders.
Yep.
And been in the talks, like last 3 years was supposed to kind of happen. But we finally got one done and it came out sick.
Yeah, man, because that's
Really
a fucking
pumped on
really cool,
Yeah.
really cool glove.
I had ideas of it, and it's been 3 years in the making, but I didn't think it would come out how sick it did. So
Yeah. Yep.
pumped it looks that good, and then maybe next few seasons we can maybe bring out like a volume 2 or something.
Sick.
Fuck yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm gonna have to I've been meaning to, and actually, literally, until you said that, I haven't thought about it for ages. But I've been meaning to get on and fucking get a pair for ages, just because they're fucking sick, and I like Fist glove. I've actually got a little bit of a Fist glove collection going on. I got the fucking Metzger
wouldn't
ones.
hurt.
They make some cool shit, and I like to just have a little bit of a collection along the side. But a few fingered ones.
It's
and
not
shit.
like you, Shane, to collect things and fucking just keep shit. That's far from what you do, man.
Nah, I know, but
Fuck.
anyway, I just thought I'd touch on that because I thought that'd be, just
was cool.
Just
Yeah.
from just being two local dudes that knew each other. It's a little bit of like a humbling thing to be like, hey, like that dude's got like the same glove as you're in line with. Fucking Matto's got his own glove. The Mike Metzger's got his own glove. Like, that's
There's some bloody big names
that's
there.
and your
big
your
names
name's up
in
there like fucking Rick Thorne. I think there's some. Are they the tattoo ones? Rick Thorne
No,
gloves?
Seth Rose, bro.
Nah.
Seth Rose got his own tattooed glove.
Well, I don't know who done them then. They're not Fist.
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Fierce? Nah, he's right. Rick Thorne has the tattooed ones.
Yeah.
So does Seth.
Does he? Yeah.
Fist ones as well, yeah. He's got his own actual hand tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's
True.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, the old skull ones. Yeah. Old skull kind of Seth gloves, but it must be his tattoo.
Yeah, they're his hands on there, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go.
They
Anyway.
do some funky designs. Yeah, they do all the colourful ones and they do everything. But it's my design. I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty. I don't like. I'm not a real out there person, so I didn't go with like the big colours and stuff. So it's like a pretty
For
black
sure,
and white.
man. And that's one thing that stood out to me. I was like, fuck. Like, that would be a hard thing to design a glove and know it's going to be cool, what you want, whatever. And
Yeah, I want to
it's
like a
just-
pair, anyone, like any gear. I'm a big
Will
believer
run,
in
yeah.
that. Yeah, any gear, any boots, any helmet, just to kind of get away with that. But
And that's hard to do. And you fucking hit the nail right on the head, I reckon, with them.
Yeah,
and luckily
they
you had that design.
yeah,
idea.
and all it is that tree up at Dad's. Yeah, that big tree that got struck by lightning. That's still there.
But that's been a big part of who you are for a
Yeah.
long time because you've...
I've looked at that thing every time when I go for a ride.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
why
yeah.
I put on my gloves.
and
so.
you speak a lot
Sick.
about it.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah, but it's a cool spectacle. It is dead, but still up.
Yep.
So it's
That's some cool
cool
shit.
Back in
spectacle,
some
so.
cool shit, man.
Yeah. One day, fucking, I wouldn't mind fucking sorting. And even like you were saying, like trying to design gloves. Like I've had it in the back of my head to do like an MDP pair, and it's like,
Well, that's why I
don't
say what I
know.
said.
I don't
because
know
when
what
you've
I'm gonna
asked
put
me,
on 'em,
like, what do you
man.
reckon, man? I don't fucking.
What do
well,
you-
man.
That's why it's been so long because Sammy's been
Yeah.
like, bro, what are you on in your glove? And I'm like, don't know.
It has to be right.
You can't tell me what you want on my glove. Like, I've got to come up with it. So sometimes coming up with ideas, and you don't want to come up with the wrong ones because you don't want
Yeah.
to come out and be like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it took so long because I'm like, I want it perfect, you know.
Yep.
But luckily enough, they got some sick designers there I just worked with, and they just
Yep.
banged it out that quick. And then I saw it on paper, and I'm like, that's sick. And then I saw it in real, I'm like, that's completely sicker.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So like when you're Tommy, as you know, when
Yep.
clothes are on paper, you can't see
Yep.
really what it's like, and then you get it, and you're like, sometimes it's like no good, and then
Yep.
sometimes
Yeah.
you're like,
It's
Other way.
well, even better. Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Fuck there. Well, that's the go with that. I just thought I'd touch on that. We're
Yeah.
killing it now. We're on an hour. There you go,
better snap
Schmido.
it,
An
yeah.
hour 25. We're actually fucking killing this podcast.
It's what happens when you got good shit to talk about.
we'll just keep going. Yeah, we better finish up. But that's me.
We're here at fucking one. Tame's like, man, fuck no.
I still haven't eaten. I'm getting fucking hungry.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
gotta
lie.
take a piss.
Yeah, and that I need a piss bad. I just haven't said anything.
Righto. Well, in saying all that, I guess let's fucking wrap her up.
Call it.
Shall we?
Yep.
Let's wrap this thing. And, you know, if there's more things, which there's definitely going to be more things to talk about in the future, we can drop in and do another one at another
Yeah,
time.
I reckon we'll definitely end
whatever.
up doing another one.
There's
No, I
probably
think
going to be...
it's such a good podcast is a great platform just to talk about because it's a lot of info. And,
Definitely.
there's heaps more info. Whenever we think we should give a bit more info out, or whenever you guys want to have a bit more of a chat, then you just let me know. I'm keen.
Sure, man.
Do a bit more.
Yep.
100%. It's always good having someone on like yourself that's lived a lot, done a lot of things, and can talk and from self-experience, things that you've experienced, not just talking. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Or like it's always good to have that. So man, it's been fucking killer to have you on here.
Definitely.
Cheers,
for sure.
boys. Appreciate
Massive
it.
thanks, dude.
It's been
Appreciate it.
fucking good knowing you all these years too. So fucking still to keep them going on.
Yeah.
Let's just keep
Now that
creating
you're
that
full
shit.
locals.
Fuck
Yeah, fuck yeah, true.
Even though
Not-
he's been in Mountain, we just it's Mountain
It's
back.
not that
is
far,
still
we're
but-
half an
technically
hour.
we were technically rivals. That was, you know, like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
Melbourne
that's right.
Buckets.
Yeah,
It was
back
like,
in the day. then like, fuck
That wasn't why
fuck
we
that.
didn't hang out, but like now
Nah.
we're hanging out because you're actually local. Yeah.
fully.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Because I don't really leave this place.
Nah.
A little bit about me. I just don't leave here.
Yeah, there's no
I don't
need
go
to,
to the
eh?
city. So like with the virus hasn't really affected me. I
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, man.
Well, fuck,
Sure.
that's about it. I guess, obviously, you know, if you're on the socials, get on. What's your Instagram? What are you on the socials and all that?
Louis Woods 15
Yep.
Instagram, I think.
Yep.
Facebook, maybe the same or maybe my name, not sure. But I just run those ones, just the Instagram, just
Yeah, get on
videos
the
and
Insta.
photos.
That's where it's
Yeah.
at, pretty much. Jump
Yeah.
on the Insta.
And
sussing
again,
out.
remembering if you're out there, you've just bought a bike or you've got kids that want to learn how to ride a bike, you don't know how to, get a hold of Woods Coaching here in Back of Smash. He'll sort you out, you, your kids, whoever you want, fucking ride a bike, he'll teach you.
Damn straight.
That's it, yeah. They got a website, but there's also a social for that too.
Yep.
That's
And they
me.
can get on
That's
to you
Woods
through
MX,
that.
isn't it? Woods MX Coaching.
Yep. That's
Sweet
it.
as. That's the go.
Awesome,
Get
man.
around it. Other than that, you know what to do with us. Do some bloody liking and subscribing. And if an ad pops up, you're meant to watch it because apparently that's how we get paid. We're
And hit
coming
the
on.
fucking
We're
bell.
coming onto this. You need to watch our ads, which is terribly annoying. But if you watch our ads, we get paid. We do cool as shit. But
Fuck yeah.
hit the bell. You know where it's
If
at.
you're on the bell, you won't ever fucking miss one, and
That's
that's what you want.
That's it. If you're on iTunes, rate it because that goes a long way too. But other than that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 13. It's been a banger. Lucky
Done,
13.
dusted,
Grouse.
over,
Thanks.
Thank you, boys.
out.
Thanks, Louis.
No worries, Louis. Thank you, man.
Pokemonos, 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 Pokemonos. I lay it down with my whips and I make you cringe. Pokemonos, 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 Pokemonos. My die! My attitude's that of a Hulk smash, mix of Tony Montana snorting bags of his coke stash. If it's true that I'm a savage at cold rap, I might as well rock a white jacket and Pope hat.